This I had to talk about. If you've seen the thumbnail, if you've seen the title, why I'm talking about this, well, I've got some things to say. To everyone out there who believes from other YouTubers like Geeks and Gamers, Neurotic, Critical Drinker, and the most famous Star Wars YouTuber who gives out fake information, Mike Zero, well, I've got something to say. The Star Wars sequel trilogy is not getting retconned or getting removed from canon in the Star Wars timeline. Think about this, because how would you remake or retcon the sequel trilogy out of its existence and have newer films in its place? It will not make sense. How would they retcon something if they made tons of money from their movies? Yes, the box office returns has been diminished a little bit from next two films. Maybe if it wasn't for Solo or Rogue One, maybe they could have done those after the sequel trilogy is done, then do anthology films for later on in time, so people won't feel fatigue or not out of breath from Star Wars. But that's just me personally. But I want to say this now, because everyone has been saying this over the internet for the past 4 or 5 years. People want the sequel trilogy to be removed. Sorry guys, it's not going to happen. It's like saying the same thing about the prequel trilogy once upon a time. But now the fans from the prequels have grown up. People respect them more because of the Clone Wars and certain other stuff that's come out trying to connect to the prequel trilogy, and everyone now seems to look back on those movies and appreciate them more. And this could happen the same thing with the sequels. People who grew up with them back in 2015 with The Force Awakens came out, and they grew up with those movies with The Last Jedi and even The Rise of Skywalker. By next year or something, people will look back on the sequel trilogy and they're going to start saying, you know what? I like those movies. I grew up with them. I appreciate them. And of course, with The Mandalorian, and of course, the most recent season 3 of The Bad Batch, if you've seen the first 3 episodes, those stuff right here, where they talk about the midichlorians, and of course, the creation of Snoke, and of course the return of Palpatine, it's pretty clear, it's pretty obvious that they're setting up what has now become the sequel trilogy. Jon Favreau has said, and I quote, that they're using the Mandalorian series, all those shows like Ahsoka, Book of Boba Fett, and all these other ones are going to connect to the sequel trilogy with the original trilogy and the sequel trilogy. So now, soon, the sequel trilogy will become canon. You can say what you want about the sequel trilogy. Yes, I have my issues with them. I do admit there are some problems with the sequel trilogy I have. It's not consistent like the prequels. I get that. That can happen the same thing in the sequels. They're going to add some things to make it more expansive and lead up to the creation of the First Order, Snoke, and of course, Palpatine's return. It's obvious. Everything's going to connect, and then people will look back on sequels and they're going to find some appreciation for them. Back what I say about the whole sequel trilogy has not been consistent throughout. Yes, Rian Johnson did want to go in a different direction from what J.J. Abrams set up. If it had to George Lucas, yes, George Lucas controls everything for what he wants to make. It's his vision, it's his story he wants to tell, but people need to tap in the shoulder and say, George, I don't think that's a good idea. There's some of the stuff you didn't pick. No one does it. They just let him say, do what you want. It's your creation, do what you want. The same thing happened to Rian Johnson, where he just does whatever he wants instead of Kathleen Kennedy or anyone on board by filming this saying, Ryan, that doesn't add up to J.J. Abrams' setup before in The Force Awakens. You need to do it that way. Look at the film again and just continue what he set up. Don't just go in a different direction. Because we know The Rise of Skywalker not received the greatest reception from fans and critics alike. I mean, we all know how that goes. But again, we know we're going to get the Rey movie that's coming out. That's happening. I follow some few people that has now come to love the sequel trilogy. Now, I follow some few people who loves it or give their own love and passion for those movies. I'm not going to mention any names, but he does come out and love them. And I follow some other YouTubers who do seem to like or love the sequel trilogy. But again, I can understand that both sides. There are some people who don't like the sequel trilogy. Again, I accept it. I understand where you're coming from. I can look at people who love them. Again, I can see why. Same goes to the prequel trilogy. There's people who don't like them. Again, I can understand. People who like them or love them. Again, who cares? But what am I getting at here? I'm going to say this now, and I'm going to say this again. The Star Wars sequel trilogy is not getting retconned, guys. Rebooting the superhero stuff like Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, or even the Fantastic Four, that's one thing. But rebooting a new continuity for Star Wars with the sequel trilogy, then not only that pisses the sequel trilogy fans off, that will make the Star Wars fans even more crazier for their reactions. So for me, I'll just let it be. Let the Star Wars sequel trilogy be what it is. If you try to retcon some few things, that's going to piss some fans off. Again, there's people who love the sequel trilogy. I don't love the sequel trilogy. I do respect it for what it is, but I'm not going to complain I want it removed. I'm just going to keep it for what it is. Same goes to the prequels. I may not love them, but I respect them for what they are, and I'm going to keep them that way. The original trilogy, perfection. It stays there, including some of the TV shows: Clone Wars, Rebels, Bad Batch, The Mandalorian, Ahsoka, Book of Boba Fett, even the Jedi Fallen Order. Heck, here's another one, Jedi Fallen Order. I never played the game, but I heard some people from one YouTuber that mentioned it in his video on the sequel trilogy, that they mentioned Kindle Bite, I believe that I'm correct, I'm wrong. The moment I heard that, I thought, yep, they mentioned the sequel trilogy. I don't care what other YouTubers think, like Geeks and Gamers, Neurotic, Star Wars Theory, who loves to trash on the sequels, or heck, many other YouTubers out there like Mike Zero making fake claims about Kathleen Kennedy or George Lucas coming back. Don't care. I don't care. So in conclusion, I just want to give my thoughts on the sequel trilogy is not getting retconned, guys, because retconning something is just a bad idea. Overall, guys, comment down below, what do you think? Do you agree with me or you disagree? But please comment down below civilly, please, and please do not attack me in the comments if I'm going to get a lot of hate for it. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that icon bell for more future videos like this. Until next time, see ya!